Hi there, and let's get to it. Today we're looking at creating a match move. This is when we're compositing an element into a shot that has camera movement. So it's necessary to graph this movement and apply it to this external element. We have to work with two video layers, just like we did when we were compositing green screen. I'm going to go into my edit page, and this is the clip I have. It's got a bit of a shaky camera, and what we don't like about this is how really plain the sky looks. So I'm going to find my fake sky and drop it onto the timeline. This is a still image. Most of the time you can get away with this if the shot is short and you don't have to see the clouds moving. You also have to decide the order in which these should appear. The easiest way to decide that is to ask yourself which of these shots will contain transparency. And it won't be the sky, because the sky will be peeking through this white area of sky that we're going to use a qualifier on. So I'm going to go into my color page, and I'll start with a primary color grade just to clean up the exposure a little bit, make it a bit more interesting, and also help us with our Luma key. Then I'm going to make a serial node, and this is how I'll remove the sky by using my qualifier. Just click and drag across what you need, and then use the controls to try to get a bit less selected. That's a pretty clean selection. If I was to play through this, then it should stick quite well. Excellent. And now I can invert the selection so that I'm just cutting out the sky. If any of this selection was spilling across the building, I could very easily create a power window and isolate that corner of the screen. But now I'm more focused on feeding the key information into the alpha output. That's what will allow that sky to truly become invisible. I'm going to select the clip underneath, which is the image of the sky. It doesn't matter that the size doesn't line up, because we only need this tiny little corner. Now that I can see this, I can come back to my sky removal, go back to the qualifier tool, maybe add a bit of a blur to the edge so that it's not as aliased, and then also pull in the ratio a tiny bit. And, just for funsies, I'm going to throw in a serial node and apply a bit of a creative grade as well. Okay, I'm already liking this a lot more. Of course, the big problem right now is that if I try to play this back, that sky stands completely still. So this is where we're going to employ some tracking and feed this information through to the sky image. If you're using a moving image, then you're good to go on to the next step. But if you're using a still image like I am, you first have to turn that sky image into a compound clip. Now we're good to proceed. I'm going to go to the start of this clip. I'm going to switch over to the stabilizer in the tracker and analyze the footage forward. After the analysis is complete, we're not going to make any of the selections below or stabilize the footage. Instead, we're going straight for the option menu in the top right corner and selecting Copy Track Data. We'll then switch over to the still image, click in the same option menu and say Paste Track Data. And now you want to set your strong value to -100. You can even change the number to something slightly lower, like 96 or 94, to throw off the stabilization a little bit and introduce a bit of fake parallax, so it will look like the sky is moving at a slightly different rate than the foreground elements. But that's entirely optional. Let's stick to -100 and click Stabilize and give it a test run. So that's doing all right. The edge of the image is coming through though, which we probably don't want. So now that it's moving and it's doing a beautiful job, I am going to go back to the transform palette and maybe tilt up the image a little bit and pan it to the right. And that way it won't be able to shake it so far that the edges become visible. And that's it. We've got a really wonderful track. I could now choose to compound the two clips together. Go back into my timeline, and I can start applying color grades that affect both the layers evenly. And that's all there is to it. I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.